Alright, welcome back to another best of 5 series between Goober Nugget and MichaelPick. These two players have played several series together, and this might be the best one yet. So they did do a draft ahead of time to get their civilization picks, but all of these games will be played on Arabia. So just quickly going over the picks and how this draft works. So you can actually see the order of uh, bans versus picks with some special picks thrown in there as well. And the order that they're played in is actually middle to outside. So for game one, MichaelPick with the Romans versus the Dravidians from Goober Nugget. That should be an interesting matchup, but would favor the Romans just in civilization pick there. And then for the second, you have Sicilians for MichaelPick versus Slavs for Goober Nugget. Slavs, very dominant civ with their Boyar coming out. So the key there will be, can MichaelPick get the Donjon Rush going before Goober Nugget gets to the Slavs unique unit in the Boyar. Georgians, Teutons, actually a pretty similar game there. Georgians pretty good early, but once the Teutons get going with Teutonic Knights and really Paladin and some of the stronger melee units, it'll be hard for Georgians to keep up. So we would expect to see, MichaelPick has a better chance to take game one, Goober Nugget, better chance to take games 2 and 3. And then going into game 4 is where you actually have each player picking the civilization for the other player. So Goober Nugget picked Vikings for MichaelPick. MichaelPick has never played with the Vikings. Vikings obviously are really strong infantry civilization, so MichaelPick not used to infantry. I'm sure the idea there was, um, Goob can get MichaelPick in a place where he'd be pretty uncomfortable with the civilization. But there are some actually probably one of the best in the game are the Vikings at economy without much effort. They naturally or automatically get some of those bonuses for villager production rate, so that could be something to watch out for. And then on the Berber side, Berbers really don't have much as far as civilization bonuses that would affect some of the common gameplay, especially on Arabia with no water. But they do have pretty good cavalry, so I'm sure the thought process there for MichaelPick was that he could kind of force Goober Nugget to play Cav, or else he'd be playing against his own civilization's strengths. And then for the last game, if needed, if this does go to a game 5, you actually have 2 picks to choose from either team. Now what's interesting here is Byzantines actually was not banned by Goober Nugget, but MichaelPick did not pick them early. So one of MichaelPick's strongest civilizations was left as a option at the end. He could also go the Khitans route. He's used that strategy before with the Khitans of basically a fast castle into I think it's fire lancers with the rocket carts behind it. So really two pretty strong options actually for MichaelPick, things that he's used to. And then on the other side, kind of a similar pick, MichaelPick did not ban Vietnamese, and that allowed Goober Nugget to pick that up. So that'll be a strong option. And then he also has the Cumans as well with their really powerful, really dangerous 2 town center start. So really an interesting matchup here between these two players. Really excited to see what they can do. Definitely see some civilization advantages in some of these games. So, but it is pretty even though. So really excited to see how this plays out. And we'll hop into the first game: Dravidians versus Romans. Goober Nugget versus MichaelPick. Let's go ahead and get that pulled up. So don't really need much of an introduction beyond what we've already looked at so far. Just a couple notes on this this game. So each player does have explored maps, which means that they don't actually have to scout to see the entire map. However, they do obviously still have line of sight, so they won't be able to see the enemy coming until they're near one of their own units or buildings, but they do have the map already explored, which is especially nice for getting food. You can basically go straight to your cattle here in this case and collect your food immediately. So again, we have Goob in the pink as the Dravidians. So Dravidians, you really don't want to see elephant archers if you're MichaelPick. That would really be a tough matchup for him, especially as the Romans. And then also, receiving 200 wood when advancing to the next stage is really a big deal. You don't have to put as much on wood early, because you will have enough wood basically to get your necessary buildings to advance in the next stage. So Goob, getting a lot of food early, already has a boar down. MichaelPick, starting on his boar. Not much scout activity here. I say that, and now he's taking off. But, you know, a lot of these games will have MichaelPick sitting back with his scout, just trying to not get lamed by Goober Nugget as he does come in, and the cattle are already gone. He's gonna sit at the chickens, waiting for some villagers to come try and gather these chickens. You'll see this as a strategy that both players occasionally will use. But actually, I don't know that MichaelPick is even aware of these chickens. It'd be a huge loss to him to not be able to gather all of this food. So Goober Nugget did click up to feudal much earlier, and is building some spears to be able to take care of MichaelPick's annoying scout here. MichaelPick does look like he's going for the typical fast castle, but actually, instead of a market and a blacksmith, he's actually building the stable. So maybe some early scouts from MichaelPick as the Georgians, and Goober Nugget will take care of the scout easily with his 2 spearmen. So MichaelPick down a scout already. Goober Nugget will go ahead and build the blacksmith, and already has archers producing out of the archery range. So if MichaelPick does go for an early Castle Age attempt, it looks like he's gonna have some feudal pressure on the way up. So not ideal for him. He would have to survive that early pressure just to get going later in the Castle Age. We do have Goob doing a good job at scouting, but he will start to get attacked by some of these villagers. No problem for him. Archers now queuing up with the spears. If MichaelPick did go with the scouts, wouldn't be a problem to see archers, but even with just 2 spears there, really you can't engage that with scouts, and that'll be a big problem for him. But he has already clicked up and will soon go up to Castle Age. And Goober Nugget now moving forward, so the timing is going to be really interesting here. Can MichaelPick get up to Castle Age and start that knight production in time? Knights really don't care about spearmen. You know, scouts try to avoid them, but knights, especially when you start to get more than just 1 or 2, they can take these fights against the spearmen pretty easily. So hits Castle Age, causes a distraction with the scout. MichaelPick does see the archers and the spears coming in, so but he's got knights on the way. And one spearman down. Doesn't target the spearman first, probably should have. And he will lose that, but take 2 or 3 units. And we'll continue to build knights. So now if you're Goob, what is the response here? Obviously you have spearmen, but in the feudal age it's really just not going to cut it. Very short on food, but you are getting the gold. Do you go ahead and continue to build these archers, which he has, or do you try to go up to the castle age to get better units? So it looks like he will continue to build these archers. He's got several more queued up with some spears behind it. With small numbers of knights, this is fine. But as MichaelPick starts to build up his army, it'll become more and more of a problem. So it looks like he's pretty walled up here, which will be crucial for Goob as he tries to defend against these knights. But there is a hole between the archery range and the house. That's a huge problem. Now you have knights in your base. And vills with no loom will get shredded. I wonder if Goob noticed this. Meanwhile, he will come back with a counterattack. Great timing on that. MichaelPick will lose a lot of his villagers here. Yeah, he'll really be back and forth. MichaelPick raiding there at the gold line, trying to defend at home. Goob, though, with the pressure at home, is going to lose a lot of these archers to the town center. Actually, all of them. So a big mistake there, but understandably had to pay attention at home. He has 2 knights in his base, taking Goob off of gold. Now has enough food to go up to Castle Age, but now doesn't have enough gold. And nobody on gold. He does take care of those knights. But more to come from MichaelPick. So really a good exchange for both players. The key here really being that Goob was taken off of gold and now doesn't have enough to go up to Castle Age. Has another gold, actually 2 gold deposits in the back, and is trying to wall up. Looks like he lost a vill to the bear out here. Knights continue to come in through that hole. I don't know if Goob has noticed the hole yet. Still doesn't have loom. Should be able to take care of this knight. He does. Now Goob starting to float the food now. Has more than enough food and has been collecting stone this whole time. And knights continue to pour in. For MichaelPick, 1 at a time is not great. He will finally get a blacksmith. He does have 2 stables. So if he can get up to 2 stable production and get knights with some upgrades, really could be potentially a very dangerous situation for Goob. Looks like Goob did buy some stone trying to get up to build a castle. Obviously a castle at home would easily defend against these knights. But in the meantime, having to spend his gold to try and get that stone, and knights are here once again. Now you have 3 taking your villagers off of wood. Looks like he did cover up the hole. I don't really understand how. I guess with another house. Yep. So MichaelPick now actually having to go the long way around. Goob does have enough to drop a castle. Looks like he's going to start to head that way. Or probably just moving out of the way, seeing the knights coming. He does have some walls starting to go up still, but still a pretty good ways away from being full walled here. And still losing vills. Yeah, and we'll lose several more. But yeah, obviously can't build the castle unless you're in the castle age. He still doesn't have the gold. He's still getting pushed off of gold. He's so close. And actually, I don't think he has been using a market this whole time because he doesn't have a market at all. Yeah, so I guess the gold really has been spent on archer production mainly, but did collect enough stone. So priority for Dave is survive and try to get up to the castle age, build that castle, but the knights continue to flow in. Meanwhile, MichaelPick has built a siege workshop forward, which would be a huge problem for Goob, who has clicked up to the castle age now. And the knights continue to come in. He does have loom, does Goob. And now you have scorpions behind this. Yeah, not a good situation for Goob to be in right now. He's gonna crawl into castle age. And really with not much army, he does have the spears and archers here, but they'll easily be taken care of by the scorpions. Knights raiding villagers as they try to wall up. Really a good idea though from Goob to try and close this up. This has been a problem really the whole game. And he will go ahead and call the GG. Yeah, so not much left. If you did get to the castle age, you could build that castle but really have no production behind it. It would be a really difficult situation to be in. You can see his food and gold are actually just refunded since he did call the GGs from the town center. So MichaelPick will take game 1 on really a pretty all-in strategy on just knights and scorpions, which is his typical go-to strategy. Worked really well in this case, was able to keep Goob from getting to the castle age. So MichaelPick will take game 1, and we'll look forward to the rest of the games in this series.